Hey guys, you have any problems pinpointing with the Minelab Equinox 600 or 800? If you do, you want to stick around and watch the video because I have a couple little tricks to show you. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Scott here from the Mental Metal channel and mentalmetaldetecting.com, and today we're going to talk about pinpointing. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably like, pinpointing? What do you want to talk about pinpointing for? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? Not exactly. There are some folks out there, maybe you're one of them, that have some issues with pinpointing with this machine. It's the Equinox 600 or 800, and I just want to show you how I pinpoint with the machine. There's a couple different ways or techniques I use. The second technique I'll show you is something that'll take you a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get used to it, you're almost guaranteed to not ever have to hit the pinpoint button, but you'll see for yourself. So we'll get started with that. The video is courtesy of my friend Brian over my Patreon page. And if you want to be a patron and pledge and make a donation and do all those fun things, be a part of the conversation over there. We can talk anything metal detecting. You guys can have direct access to me and ask me things you want me to do in videos. Feel free, just go over to my Patreon page. I'll put a link in the description below. That'll take you right over there and show you all the stuff that you can do. All right, so let's get started with pinpointing on the Equinox 8 or 600, okay? Alright guys, so pinpointing with this machine is super easy. I've used a lot of machines in the past, and every machine does things a little different, but the Equinox, I think, in my personal opinion, is one of the easiest easiest machines to use and pinpoint with that I've ever used. So if you're having trouble with it, it's probably because you just don't know where the sweet spot is in your coil, and I'm going to show you that today. But it could be, maybe you got something going on with your machine you might have to have checked out, but for the most part, this is one of the easiest things to do. It's a snap to learn, and I'm going to teach it to you in like 10 minutes, okay? And then you're off and running. All right, guys, just to show you what I got on the ground, I put a Civil War, that is a Sharps bullet on the ground right there, Civil War bullet, and I have a silver quarter. Now, we're not really focusing on the items per se. We're just focusing on the target at hand and how to pinpoint it when you get over a target. Alright, so we're in Park 1. We're going to try to go over the target, get a signal. So I got a good signal here. Coming up 16, 15 on the Equinox. I got thunder in the distance. Let's put it in pinpoint mode by hitting the middle button, going over the target. Now remember when I said we're looking for 12 o'clock, when the horseshoe comes together at 12 o'clock, that is where you are completely pinpointed over the coil. And if you look down at your coil, it's going to be right under it. See? Where it comes together at 12 o'clock, it's right under the coil. Let's try the quarter. Well, let's listen to it with the sweet 31 sound, silver for sure. Put in pinpoint mode. So I'm off a bit, but I'm getting it. I got it hitting right in the middle here. Move the coil away. I'm right over top of it. So now there's another way to do it. Let me show you that. Okay, guys, another technique I want to show you is the ability to kind of like not hit the pinpoint button. If you don't want to use that button and you get pretty good at pinpointing, it's just all relative in how you kind of see the target below the coil. Now, because I see the target, it's going to make it a little difficult for you guys to kind of picture this. So I'm going to put a leaf over the target. So you guys aren't going to see it, but you'll be able to hear it. So what I do typically is I come across the target. In this case, I'll hit the bullet. And I can pinpoint it, sure, figure out where it is that way, which works really well. Or sometimes I don't even use that option. I just hit the target, and start coming off of it backwards until I don't hear it anymore. And when I don't hear it anymore, I have a visual in my head on where I think that target is hitting under the coil. And once I understand or have an idea, I usually dig my plug right in front of that coil, because it's going to be typically right here where that arrow is on the coil. So if you see that arrow here, I'll show you. This is kind of your arrow, if you haven't noticed. There's an arrow on here, there's one back here too in the back of the coil. But if you hit the target and you back off of it enough, the signal will go away, and that's usually at the point where it goes away. That's at the front of the coil, and if you dig your plug right in front of that coil, that is probably where you're going to get where your target's going to be at. Not 100% of the time, because you're kind of doing a guess on it. But as you do this more often and have more practice with it, you do get a lot better with it. And 9 times out of 10, you won't need to pinpoint it. Sometimes when you dig the plug and it's not in there, you may want to try your pinpoint feature just to make sure you didn't miss it by a little bit. A lot of times it'll be in the sidewalls. So there you go. Let's try it over here with the quarter. So I'm hearing it. So this one's going to be a little bit off. If you noticed, if I came off of it, I'm about maybe 3-4 inches away. So if I were to dig that plug, I would probably catch it on the sidewall, but it would be really close. So just keep that in mind. It's not 100% absolute. So a lot of times you just don't need to dig, or you don't need to hit that pinpoint button. You could just back off your target so you don't hear it, and then dig your plug right in front of the coil. What I like to do is when I know where I think the target is, and I come off of it with the coil, what I like to do is mark it with my foot. Put a little dent in the ground and start my plug there. Guys, those are the 2 techniques I use on my Equinox and how I pinpoint. The pinpoint feature on the Equinox is really good. It's really accurate. Sometimes it doesn't engage right all the way. It's one thing I will point out. When you hit the pinpoint button, sometimes it will not engage right away, and you might have to push it twice. Turn it off, turn it on again. Don't know why it does that. It just does it for me. I've had it happen on the Deus as well, so I'm not really sure what happens with the circuitry or whatever. But just know that, because maybe that's one of the reasons why some of you guys are having problems pinpointing the machine, because it doesn't engage right when you hit the button. The second technique is tricky, but the more you practice with it, the better you'll get at it. It's just a matter of understanding where that sweet spot is on the coil, and then knowing that when you find that sweet spot, which is right here, and your coil comes off of it when it's right here, you know that's if you dig in front of your coil at this point, you're probably going to catch it in the plug. If you dig a big enough plug, you'll probably catch the target. But if you don't, you miss it, you still have the pinpoint option on your machine. But I've really come to the point now where I don't really use the pinpoint option too much on a machine. I just dig a plug, and usually it's in there. If it's not, I'm just a smidge off. Not really off too much though, but just usually a smidge. It's in the sidewall. So if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, let me know. Hit the like button. If you learned something today, hit the like button, and send me a comment and tell me what you think and what you learned, and if something became clear to you. Pinpointing is not hard. It's just takes some practice, that's all. And share this video with somebody who's having some trouble, and hopefully that'll clear them up for you. And that's really all I got today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you did, hit that like button. Join me on Patreon, and check out mentalmetaldetecting.com. I'm doing some reviews and stuff over there, and a lot of Equinox stuff over there as well. Usually I write up a how-to article on what I do in these videos and put over on there as well. Not so sure I'll do one on pinpointing, because it's pretty straightforward, but there's still a lot of other good stuff over there. And check out the other 5 micro session videos I've done. This is number 6 on the Equinox. There's some really good stuff out there for you. If you haven't checked them out, I'll list them all in the description below, and make sure you watch each one of them all the way through, okay? Because they really aren't that long. that's all for me today. I will just want to say thanks for watching. I want to thank all my Patreons out there on Patreon, and especially Brian, who actually gave me this idea to do this video today. So thanks again, Brian, for giving me this idea. And I'll see you all later in another Mental Metal video. Oh wait, big footage review. See ya!